All right, we're going to talk about special products of polynomials. So really this lesson is all about shortcuts. Okay? So if you like shortcuts, then this is the one you want to pay attention to. It'll also save you tons of time when you're factoring later on. All right, so the first special product is the square of a binomial. If you have a plus b quantity squared, that's equal to a squared plus 2ab plus b squared. Okay, that means you have a plus b times a plus b. So if you remember how to multiply this out, that's a squared plus ab plus ab plus b squared. So note at the beginning you have a squared, at the end you have a b squared. So a squared, and then at the end we have a b squared. And in the middle we have two ab's. Okay, and that's what the pattern says here, right? And so as long as we know what these numbers are, we can calculate the others by using patterns. And a minus b quantity squared, that means you have a minus b times a minus b, is very similar. You just have the minus in the middle. Okay, the minus 2ab there. Alright, the front and back are still the same. That's because if we're looking at this pattern, these would both say minus then. Okay, so that's the square of a binomial. The sum and difference, also known as the difference of two perfect squares, says, hey, let's say you have a plus b as a binomial and you're multiplying it by a minus b. Okay, so notice you have a plus and a minus, but you have a and b in each of them. Really what happens there is you end up with whatever a is squared minus whatever b is squared. So a squared minus b squared. Once again, the reason that is, if I have a plus b and a minus b, if I were to multiply that out, there's my a squared, there's my negative ab, and there's a positive ab, and then there's a minus b squared. So notice in the middle, negative ab and positive ab cancel out, and I'm just left with the front, a squared, and the back, minus b squared. It's the difference of two squares. So these three patterns help us out quite a bit. Let's go ahead and use those, the square of a binomial pattern, to find each product. So notice this is x plus 4 squared. So that means if you think of this as like a ride with two seats on it, like a mathematical ride here, a plus b, in seat A you have x, and in seat B you have 4. Okay? Well, if you look at the pattern we're using, since it says plus, we're using this pattern right here. So we take whatever's in seat A and square it, so x squared. Whatever's in seat B and square it to make the end, so that would be my 4 squared. And in the middle, we take a times b and double it. So 4 times x doubled. So we have 2 4x's. Okay, so that's x squared plus 8x plus 16. Okay, let's try another one here. This one is a minus pattern. Look at this. So we have position A and position B. We're subtracting this time. So we take position A, square it. We take position B and square it. Notice when I square a negative, it becomes a positive. And then we multiply them together, 5x, and double it. So we have 2 negative 5x's. Okay? Well, 2 negative 5x's is actually negative 10x. So that plus 2 times negative 5x becomes minus 10x. We have the front and the back. So normally I wouldn't keep showing all those steps there, the 2ab in the middle. I would look at it like this. I'd say, okay, I'm squaring this, I've got the subtraction, I know this is position A, this is position B, I'm subtracting. So I know I'm going to square the front, so that's going to be 2x quantity squared. I'm going to square the back, negative 7 squared, and then I'm going to multiply 2 times 2x minus 7. Okay, 2x times negative 7. Okay, and rather than writing 2x times negative 7, I just write negative 14x. Okay, and so all those become make sure you square both of those. That's 4x squared, and negative 28x, and negative, or positive, excuse me, 49. Okay? Position A, position B, we're adding, square this, 9a squared, square this, 49y squared, multiply them together, 3 times 7 is 21, doubled is 42ay. All right, saves you some time. Okay, it's all about saving time in this lesson. Let's go ahead and try the sum and difference product. So find the product here. Notice now I have the minus and the plus. I have one of each of them. So remember, that means I take whatever's in position A, right? So I take that and square it. So a squared is x squared. Whatever's in position B and square it. Position B is 7 squared. And I put a minus sign in between. There, I've got it. Same thing here. Here's A, here's B. A and B, they're the same. One of each sign. So position A, 3x squared. Position B, 1 squared. Put a subtraction in between, so that becomes 9x squared minus 1. Now you can do all of these problems just like we did earlier on by just distributing. You're using FOIL, but this saves you a lot of time. It also can help you with mental math. So if I know 17 and 23, if I know that 20 is in the middle there, I can write 17 as 20 minus 3. And I can write 23 as 20 plus 3. So notice I use 20 in each of them, and I use 3 in each of them. This is A minus B, and this is A plus B. Position A is 20 squared. Position B is 3 squared. And sum and difference product, so it's a minus in between. 2 squared is 4, so 20 squared is 400. 3 squared is 9. 400 minus 9 is 391. So another way to do mental math. 17 times 23 is 391. And you can do the same thing with using your square of a binomial. Notice this is 32 squared, but it can be written as 30 plus 2 squared. So you find numbers that are easy to use. 20 was easy to use, 3 was easy to use, 30 is easy to use, and 2 is easy to use. So think of multiples of 10, 10, 20, 30, and so on. Okay? So 30 plus 2 squared. Well, that's just this pattern right here. So here's A, here's B. Hopefully you're pausing and trying these on your own. But 30 squared is 900. Okay? 30 times 2 is 60. Doubled is 120. And then 2 squared is 4. So 900, 120, and 4 is 1024. All right. And you did some mental math there. All right. That's all I got for you. Good luck.